All right, good evening. Something a little different tonight. I know I've already demonstrated the Decaying Candle before, but the way I do the ritual with this particular entity is different. And so I thought I would just go ahead and record it. I'll record it pretty much up to the point of lighting. And reason for that is because these things are going to take like an hour and a half to burn, somewhere around there. And that would be a pretty boring way to waste a bunch of battery, right? And your time. So I haven't done any of the prep outside of gathering the materials. I already know who the entity is that is going to do it, which is why I decided to record it. Got my candles here, the Decaying Candle and the filler. Tonight we'll be using Az Jahi and the Druj Nasu. Az Jahi is, the stuff I'll be using is from Kendall's The Necromancer, and I'll be saying the orations out loud, and I'll put the page numbers on there so credit's given. Shouldn't be an issue. If I were just doing like I did one with Beelzebub the other day, and I didn't need to orate or anything like that, but here I will, because I feel like it gets me a better result. I could just call and say, hey, would you? And I already know the answer because I reached out to say, hey, who wants this job? And so today we're going to be working on some of these defenses, essentially, and to keep those down. I'll have some other entities that are going to assist with that, but I wanted to get something a little more, well, I want to say decay-like, because that's exactly what I need. I want it to slowly come down to erode rather than just drop off. Now, when I say slowly, I mean it's going to kind of be up to them because they're going to know better than me. But I wanted to keep it a little bit quiet. Would you say, oh, Norris, why are you recording this video if you're going to keep it quiet? Well, because if you know who I am, if you know my name, this isn't for you, right? Yeah, this is for somebody else that doesn't even know I exist. And I am okay with that. So what do I have prepared already? Well, obviously I got the candles here. I've got my candle for Az Jahi, which includes these stones. Same stones I used in the Necromancer when I worked through it. Not the same candle, but that would make sense, right? Lancet, diabetic lancet. I don't think I used 26 gauge, I believe. Yep, 26 gauge. Is what I use if you're following along at home. I do already have my decay mixture. I gotta keep track of the battery. The batteries are getting old in this stuff and going fast, so I'll have to switch it out several times most likely. But it's already been ground in my mortar and pestle. I don't encourage breathing that stuff in. If it's bad enough to represent decay for you, then it's probably not good for your health, right? But what's in there? There's some graveyard dirts in there. I think some rat feces that I saved out, that I found after the move, because rats had gotten into some of the stuff and eaten some of my clothes, actually. Cat feces, some dead spiders, cat's claw that I filed down. It's going to have some mandrake in it, and it's going to have some driftwood from Pearl Harbor in it for the heavy metals and toxic plastics that are in the water there. So that's the essence that's pulled off into there. Let's see, this one I think still has some of the fish scales. It has, I think that's it actually. I think it's, probably some land snails in it because those are invasive and quite detrimental to flowers, ornamental flowers and things like that over in Hawaii. So without getting too further into the weeds here, we are going to go ahead and start. Now, for those of you who've already watched the other video, you know that I have one candle that acts as the feeder candle. This is also an offering candle, and I charge it, blood it, and then I use this to drip all over this candle, which I'm going to burrow out using this little pocket knife I got off of Goodwill. And I will be putting the materials in that using this, which is going to be about the same size. I have a taller one that I prefer, but this came with some dropper bottles. Good enough. Yeah, that'll work. Now you can, this is a standing mixture, as I call it. And what that means is I typically grind it for a specific purpose, charge it, and then what I have left over, I toss in a bag like this. So that way, if I don't feel like I should make a custom blend, if you will, then I can just go ahead and go to this. It's already ready. Like if I were if I were to pick up a ritual for this, the Decaying Candle ritual off of Etsy, I would probably be using this unless I'm told to use something else. And this will still get imprinted too, but that's probably the Druj Nasu. So first things we're going to do is we're going to drill holes into these things. I like to do 3 on one side, turn it 90 degrees, 2, turn it 3, turn it 2, and they're offset so that way I'm not drilling like back to back, because I've done it on accident, not paying attention, and it can break your candle in half, and that's a bad day, right? So we are going to go ahead and get started with this. Not terribly exciting, but it doesn't have to be. And I've not done anything else to this candle so far. There's no need to. Because it doesn't quite get charged like the other one does. Not at the same time, anyways. And since I am using the Druj Nasu, which you call through Az Jahi, it'll be up to her to divvy up whatever energy payments she wishes to that hive, because it's a hive entity. Sure, can be seen here. I'm not sure that it can. I was going to use a work light, but it was kind of getting in the way. I'm kind of covered in the overhead light with my leaning over with my body here, so you get the idea. All right, now if I were grinding up the mixture, which would have done, I mean, I could have done it before or after I've drilled these holes, because the holes themselves, I'm not really doing anything with the candle. There's nothing really being done here. It's just simply preparing the holes. A lot of the intent for decay, for destruction and things like that are done with the feeder candle and the materials. When you it's like I've got room for some others here, but I don't know that I really do. It's fine, it's all right. You put the intent into the materials that you are using, and I forgot my brush, excuse me. Okay. All right, now I do swipe that out, and that's because any leftover material in here that's not tied to the wax, I can go ahead and put back in this bag, because the stuff itself has already been charged, and it can still be good. Just because it hits this doesn't mean it's lost. So since I know Az Jahi has already accepted the task, But I'm still going to ask and verify. She can make further demands. Here, let's see. Yeah, it's a little wide, but that's all right. So, yeah, anyways, I forgot where I was really going with that. But, so what I am going to do right now, though, is I'm going to charge this candle. And this is just charging it with energy. It's literally a gift. It's not necessarily payment for the result, because we assume the result's going to happen. So instead, well, actually, there's more to it than that too. But I go ahead and charge the candle, bleed on the candle, because I know it's going to be accepted, and call it good. But I will say this though: if you try to do a reversal on this spell, right, with the way I'm doing it right here this time, it's not going to work, right? Because we're working through an entity, and because this is a gift, this itself isn't the spell, right? These are the components that they're going to use for that. They are welcome to the energies in it, and if they choose to use it, they choose to use it. If they don't, they don't. But they are going to be the ones performing the action. So unless you know them, or you know somebody that can intervene on your behalf, some simple reversal thing is just not, it's not going to work. So that's a pretty handy thing to know. There's a lot of people think their little mirror spells and things like that are going to affect this, and it's not, because it's not a typical spell, right? So keep that in mind. All right, so let's go ahead and charge this. So I'm going to do here, because I haven't worked with Az Jahi in a while. I invite her to take offerings, but I haven't worked with her in a while. So I'm going to go ahead and flood the candle, pack it down, flood it again, the remaining space, pack it down, and that's what I call the condensed candle, which I'm doing as I'm talking about this here, because I can and I have, and all I'm doing is adding energy as a gift. It's not like I have to put special intent into it or anything like that, which is a very important piece of information to know. And once you get at the top, it's fine. I mean, it's already getting packed, so there's more in there than normal. And I wouldn't normally do this, but I haven't worked with her in a while, and I'm asking for a favor from her. So another thing I'm going to do is, since I already had this candle for her, is I'm going to bleed and put a drop of blood on it, and I'll put a drop of blood on these stones, which are blood stones. Very sharp if you fragment them, if you chip them off. So be careful when you're holding them. You want to put your blood on it because you want it to be on there, not because you slipped with a bloodstone. All right, since I don't know what their policy is for showing blood getting done, we'll just use the lancet. Wasn't a good hit. Yeah, it's all right. It'll still work. And as I say in all my videos, well, most of my videos that involve the use of blood, I believe in blood, sweat, and tears, literally. So if I want something, I'm prepared to bleed for it. And this isn't my enemy, actually. This is somebody else's enemy. But they need shut down, because they are literally getting in the way. And they're a practitioner. So, yeah, probably can't see it glistening, but there we go. That's fine. All right. There we go. Now I'm going to start with the invocation to Az Jahi, and then I'll do the invocation for the Druj Nasu. And what you're not going to see, but I am going to be doing is I will be calling them into me and putting them into this candle. And it's up to them whether or not they choose to stay in it, because this isn't the same Decaying Candle ritual that's in the Necromancer. So I'll just be putting them in there, pushing them through there, because that's how I do it with them, not because it's actually needed for the Decaying Candle that I do. All right, so the invocation for Az Jahi can be found on page 28. got my dead name on it. So let me check my 32%. Okay. All right. So it's on page 28. The Prayer of Az Jahi. The Queen of Darkness Eternal. Polluter of women, the dark feminine destroyer, I implore you to come. Az Jahi, goddess of death, the great spreader of decay, arisen over the horizon of darkness eternal as the blood moon. Consort of the Lord of darkness, the darkest goddess, merciless devourer, vampiric goddess, ruler of the dead and the dying, rise from the depths of Arzura, through darkness eternal, through the cool flames of hell itself. Az Jahi, the bloody one. Az Jahi, I praise you. Hail the great and terrible Az Jahi. Alright, well, I can feel her watching the ritual here. Well, to me, her presence is just a foot or two that way, but not that you're probably going to see that. So now that I've done this, go ahead and light her candle. Okay, and sorry, I have the target's picture over here actually. Az Jahi, I ask you to use the Druj Nasu as you see fit for this target here in my hand. We need the defenses, any defensive mechanisms decayed and destroyed. Quietly, if you will, but destroyed nonetheless. I ask you to send the Druj Nasu to pollute her and her defenses in preparation for other work. For this, I will be making this decaying candle, where I will pour essence into here that you may use as you see fit. And I have a gift for you here, this candle, charged and blooded. And I thank you for your service with that. Now I'll call the Druj Nasu. I won't be using my dead name, as they call it, though I do know what it is, of course. I won't be using the target's name either. I'll simply be saying target because it'd be kind of a giveaway, right? Okay. It is I who rouse the Druj. It is I who rouse the Nasu. It is I who rouse the Druj Nasu. Filth and decay, death and darkness, the emanation of dark rays of the blood moon come. Druj Nasu, she who dwells in the neck of Arzura, the bringer of corruption and impurities, of darkness eternal, the eternal joining ones. I invoke you to enter me now. Lie down to my call. Fiend of corpses, evil polluter, come. Enter my breath. Enter my body. Enter my mind. Enter my heart. Enter my soul and swim as the toxic current within me. I cause the joining ones to rise before me. Children of the Dark Destroyer, come. Druj Nasu, I summon you forth to rise before me in beholdable form. Ancient grim pollution of darkness eternal, arise before me. I open my mind to you, so I embrace you. I open my eyes to you, so I may see you. I open my ears to you, so I may hear you. Come, Druj, come. All right, they did come and they are inside me now, and it's been a while since I've had them in me, so it's affected me a little bit more than I thought it would. I do feel a bit sick, actually. Not enough to make me vomit or retch, but the those callings were from pages like 110 basically onwards. And now, rather than doing the baneful rite of the Druj, I'll simply send them into this candle and let them go out. So that way the candle is for them. And if Az Jahi had objections to that, then she would let me know. Still feel a little sick, actually. It's probably been... It's been several years, actually, since I've worked with the Druj. Oof, okay. All right. So the Druj have a signature with the candle. We have the charged and blooded candle here. Next, we're going to add the material. I do encourage the use of a glove. What am my battery at? 26. I better go ahead and change the battery then. All right. New battery. So what I'm going to do is my left hand is basically going to feed the holes that have been filled with this stuff. So I'm going to go ahead and glove up with a nitrile glove. Don't die for your enemies. All right. Got that. All right, I'm gonna go ahead and light this. And since it's from Az Jahi, I'll go ahead and light it. It doesn't matter that I'll use her candle to light it. If this were Beelzebub or something like that, I would either use a lighter or I would use this tabletop torch. But, okay. Let's go. And I find usually, you can see it or not, usually it's just like a little pinch is all you need, because you can always add more. So just put it over the holes, a little pinch. Okay, maybe a little more. So we'll scoop off some of the excess. And you want a little divot into it, so there's some place for the wax to fall to seal it up. Okay. There we go. All right. Now, raise it up and down a little bit. That'll get so it doesn't drip off. One down. May not have made a good enough divot on that side. That's why it's rolling off. There we go. If you fill those holes completely, then you'll have problems getting the wax to stick on it. Okay. Now I'm going to start brushing some of this stuff over. Because eventually there'll be enough there I can just pinch from that instead. Okay. You don't have to use an entity for this if you don't want to. It's just, it seems smarter with some things, most things, but more so they can direct it where it was needed best. All right. That's good. There we go. There really isn't enough powder in here to make it worthwhile to save it. I have urinated on this, not this candle, but urinated on these things in the past if I want to add that in there for some reason. But this is pretty much it. That's all you need. Let's go ahead and close this up. It takes a whole lot longer with a 10-inch candle. Okay. Az Jahi, I thank you and the Druj Nasu for accepting this target and for destroying those defenses and decaying their ability to return. All right, there we go. Now, I do not encourage you, depending on what you have in there, to stay in here and watch over this. I've got a fan over here to help pull some of the air out. And that's pretty much it. Now it's up to Az Jahi and the Druj Nasu. So I will extinguish the tabletop torch and Az Jahi's candle. Or let it burn, depending on what she says. But she's indicating I can go ahead and turn it off. So that's it. Enjoy.